At 2 in the morning, the house made a sound it had never made before. Not a creak, not a pipe, not the usual settling noise. It sounded like breathing, slow, patient, too close. And that is when they realized they were not alone. If you have ever owned a house, if you have ever lived somewhere long enough to know every sound, then you know why this story matters. Because the scariest part is not what they found. It is how long it had already been there. This story starts in a place that feels familiar. A quiet neighborhood outside Des Moines, Iowa. Late summer. Fireflies in the yard. High school football on the radio. A couple named Ben and Lauren. Early 30s. First home. Nothing fancy. Split level. Finished basement. The kind of house people build memories in. Ben worked construction. Lauren worked remote marketing. They liked hosting game nights, barbecues, friends over on weekends. The basement was their favorite part. Couch, big TV, mini fridge, storage room in the back. They joked it was the man cave, but everyone used it. For the first few months, everything was perfect. Then small things started happening. The basement light would be on in the morning. Ben assumed Lauren forgot. Lauren assumed Ben did. Stuff moved. A box shifted. A chair slightly out of place. Normal, right? Anyone who has lived with another human knows this conversation. Did you move this? No, did you? They laughed it off. But then the smells started. A sour smell, like old food, like something damp. Ben blamed the drain. Lauren blamed the humidity. They bought a dehumidifier, lit candles, opened windows. The smell went away for a while. Here is the problem. Homes hide things, basements especially, out of sight, out of mind. According to housing inspection studies, a large percentage of homeowners never fully inspect basements or crawl spaces after moving in. We assume empty means empty. That assumption can be expensive or worse. One night in September, Ben stayed up late watching a game. Lauren went to bed early. Around 1:30, the TV cut out, just black. No power outage. The rest of the house still had lights. Ben got up, checked the breaker. Everything was fine. The TV turned back on by itself. He laughed, blamed the cheap wiring. Then he heard footsteps above him. He paused. Lauren was asleep upstairs. He texted her, "You awake?" No response. The footsteps stopped. Ben chalked it up to the house settling. Again, a week later, Lauren heard something while on a work call, a low thud from the basement. She muted her mic, listened. Nothing. She went downstairs. Everything looked normal. But the storage room door was open. They never left it open. Inside, nothing looked missing, but the smell was back, stronger. Lauren mentioned it to Ben. He said they should check for mold. They scheduled an inspection. This is where timing matters. The inspector was delayed. Busy season. They rescheduled for the following week. That weekend, they hosted friends. People in and out. Music loud. Basement full. No one noticed anything, because whatever was down there knew how to stay quiet. On Monday morning, Lauren found something that changed everything. A footprint in dust near the storage room. Too big to be hers. too narrow to be Ben's, barefoot. She stood there staring at it longer than she wants to admit. Then she did something many people do. She rationalized, maybe from the previous owners, maybe from construction, maybe old, but deep down, she knew that footprint was new. She sent a picture to Ben. He came home early. They searched the basement together, behind shelves, behind boxes. Nothing. Ben laughed a little too loudly, said they were spooking themselves. But that night, neither of them slept. At around 3:47 in the morning, Lauren woke up. The sound again. Breathing, not from upstairs, from below. She nudged Ben. He listened. They both heard it. A slow inhale, a slow exhale, coming through the vent. Basement vent. They lay there, frozen, every instinct screaming. Ben grabbed his phone, called 911, whispered, "Something is in our house." Police arrived in minutes. Lights, voices, movement. They cleared the main floors. Nothing. Then the basement. When they opened the storage room, they found it. A mattress, old blankets, empty food cans, water bottles. Someone had been living there for months, using the crawl space behind the wall, entering through a storm drain access connected to the foundation. The officer said something that stuck with Lauren. "This happens more than you think." And he was right. There are documented cases across the United States. People secretly living in basements, attics, crawl spaces. They are called frogging cases, named after the idea of hopping into empty spaces. Most homeowners never realize until something goes wrong. The person was gone. No sign of struggle, no confrontation, just evidence. They never caught him. Neighbors later reported strange noises. Trash moved, doors unlocked. Turns out the previous owner had sealed the crawl access improperly, a perfect hiding place. Now this story alone is terrifying. But it does not stop there, because once Ben and Lauren shared their experience, others came forward. A woman in Ohio who found someone sleeping behind her furnace. A family in New Jersey who discovered someone using their attic. A college student in California who realized food kept disappearing. In many of these cases, the intruder had been there for months, sometimes years. The psychology behind this is unsettling. These individuals rely on routine, predictability, silence. They study habits, work schedules, sleep cycles. Experts say these cases often go unnoticed because there is no theft, no damage, no immediate threat, just presence. And presence is easy to dismiss until it is not. The exploration part of this story is important. How does this happen? Older homes, improper renovations, shared crawl spaces, poor lighting. Basements are often excluded from daily living space, which makes them ideal, and our brains resist the idea because it is terrifying. Ben and Lauren moved out, sold the house at a loss. They could not sleep there again. Ben said the worst part was not knowing when the person was listening. Lauren said she still cannot stand quiet rooms. The climax of this story came months later when Ben received a message from an unknown number. It said, "You left the light on." That was it. No follow-up. Police traced it to a burner phone. Nothing else. Was it a coincidence, a prank, or someone letting them know they were still being watched? They never found out. The conclusion here is not about fear. It is about awareness. Check your spaces. Trust your instincts. Do not ignore unexplained signs. Homes are meant to protect us, but only if we pay attention. Sometimes danger is not breaking in. It is already inside. If this story made you think twice about your own basement, then watch the next video, because it goes even deeper.